even in the Tank Davis fight, take that fight. I don't think he can beat Tank Davis. He's saying he's gonna knock him out. Kind of, whatever. He's selling the fight. It's gonna be the biggest fight in the lightweight division. If he loses to Tank Davis, it's how he loses. If he loses a split, if it's a draw, you know what I mean? Saying, like, if the worst doesn't happen and he doesn't get knocked down or anything like that, and he just loses the fight, puts up a great fight, a lot like we just did with Rolly. Prior to the fight, we're like, this guy's a clown. After the fight, we're like, man, he had more than I expected. Salute to him. You know what I mean? They do the exact same thing with King Rye. It's unfortunate that it takes that type of fight for him to be accepted by the entire boxing world. You know what I mean? So, but it kind of is what it is.
So you think he doesn't beat Gervonta? I'm going to touch on that. But with Pitbull Cruz, he's also Ryan has also said in interviews that he feels that he knocks out Pitbull Cruz. Do you see that if he does fight Pitbull Cruz?
Pitbull is going to be hard to knock out. Not really to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but he's a little bit like me in the sense that he's got heart that's immeasurable, and he's got skill, and he's courageous, and he believes that he's going to win, and all of those things are very hard to not only beat but knock out.
Handle too in the ring.
And handle.
Like mentally.
So while King Rye saying he thinks he'll knock out Pitbull, yes, I think he can beat Pitbull. Styles make fights. He's got the style to beat Pitbull. Using that style is not going to lead to a knockout. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a really good fight.
I want to see it. If the Tank Ryan fight can't be made, and like I know they're talking about it, but like us knowing the business, like unless Tank goes like the free agent round and he's a true free agent, I just don't see it happening. Are you of that same consensus?
I am. We had Leonard Ellaby on the Porterway podcast, YouTube, all the podcasting platforms out there. If you didn't know. We had him on, and he was talking about a lot of the lightweights.
I saw the clip where he said that Ryan shouldn't fight Gervonta, but
yeah, but it seemed like Leonard wants to make sure that the business is always right, and I got no problem with that. But usually, when the business is all the way right, the fans are the ones who are left hanging. So with that being said, I'm very optimistic, but at the same time, I do know that if the business is if that fight's waiting on the business, it's gonna be sometimes in this case it might be hard to make.
Boxing, it's just they try to do it with Munguia and Charlo, and they couldn't get it done, and that's like a much smaller fight. Yeah. That you would think because it's a small, that's a good fight, but yeah. I mean in terms of like. Crossover appeal, yeah. That would be a little bit easier making. They had a really hard time to make, and it's like, well, regardless of what Tank does, if he stays within the PBC stable, even though he doesn't have a contract with any promoter, that he has a direct contract with maybe Showtime, like that, they're not going to let their golden goose like away. Like they're not going to have a joint DAZN pay-per-view. So I'm just like sitting there thinking like, how is this fight going to be made unless he gets offered something huge where he goes to DAZN or it's something that is favorable to everybody.
Yeah, I mean it's just something. It's got to be good for everybody, and I don't know. You think about that fight being as big as it's gonna be, and you think, how is it everyone can't benefit from this? And I don't know, man. Sometimes the business figures out. No, we don't all benefit, so let's not do it. So I don't know. Let's hope for the best and be optimistic.
Is it too early for Ryan? Like, why are you guys so keen in pushing him with Gervonta? Or do you think that over the past year he's really grown, he's really gotten better, and he's going to show like how good he is against the Gervonta?
No, the bottom line is that he wants to fight, and as his promoter, if he wants to fight, then we get him to fight. Easy as that. I strongly feel that Ryan and Tank are special fighters, meaning they will fight through adversity. They will get knocked down just the way Ryan did with Campbell and get back up and win the fight. I think if Gervonta ever gets knocked down, he'll get back up and win a fight. So they have special talents. They have the it factor. So I think it's not too early for any one of those fighters. I think it's the right time. I think right now the hype is so big that that we have to make that fight happen soon.
Is it possible?
Yeah, it's very possible. We've worked with PBC before in the past. It's not easy, but you know, I'm gonna start pushing it hard, and if I have to push it hard in the media, then I'm gonna do so. I think if everybody, if the fans get behind me and push for that fight and really demand that fight, then we can make it happen. Because over there at PBC, you know, we all know that Al Heyman likes to keep his fighters away from everybody else, meaning fighters that are not signed with Showtime or Showtime. So if the fans can get behind me to push for that fight and really rally and get that fight going, then I think we can pressure them to once and for all make that fight happen. Because if that's what Ryan wants, then that's my obligation as his promoter to get that fight done.
Are you sold on him? Because a lot of boxing fans aren't completely sold on Ryan yet.
Yeah,
I just gave him a minute off camera. Look what he's doing.
yeah, I'm sold on Ryan Garcia. How could you not be? Ryan has figured out a way to drive his car the way no other fighter is really. Most fighters have not figured out a way to drive their car. He uses his social media. He uses his brand, and he uses it in a way that he can make money without getting in the ring. There's nothing wrong with that. But because people haven't seen it before, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. But he's made it work to this point. The thing is, it's going to take him beating somebody like Javier Fortuna for people to take him more serious. Between his social media following and the fact that he really essentially doesn't have to box, and he's a good-looking young guy, and the list goes on, people are like, what are you doing here? It's very contrary to what we believe a fighter to be or should be. And that's why people have given him a little bit of a hard take to this point, and really not accepted him. And it's simply because he's just not an average fighter. He's different. And as someone who has always prided himself on being different, I salute Ryan Garcia. When you get in the ring and you put on performances the way that he has, it lets you know there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. He's putting enough time in the gym, and he's making the right moves so that he can be successful in the ring. It's just a matter of time for people to let go of the fact that he's doing it the way that he's doing it. The way that he's doing it is just, for the sake of words, it's been unacceptable for years in this sport. Is what it is.
I don't think it'll go away until he fights and he beats someone like a Pitbull Cruz or a Gervonta.
Pitbull Cruz is slow, he's wide, and he gets hit a lot. I don't really miss much of my punches, so Pitbull Cruz I got respect because he's doing his thing. With Tank, that's all he did. But don't come out here and start saying that I wasn't trying to fight. He literally, if anybody could ever duck somebody, that was as clear as a duck that you could see. I don't even like using that word. He really avoided fighting me. It's just fact. He just avoided it.
Do you feel Tank does last more than 7 rounds, or do you see that same thing in him?
I make it look very, very easy. I bust his face open. They have to stop the fight due to just too many punches on him. Tank he tries to be a boxer, but it's not in his nature. He can't box.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.